Hello, beautiful dancer, and welcome to this week's video. Today is going to be an interview, a cup of tea with a special guest, Anna Deas, also known as aka Cosmo's daughter from Barcelona. Anna is a Tribal Fusion Bellydance, datura style and flow arts teacher, and she has created her own stylization fusing together flow arts with Tribal Fusion Bellydance. And she recently opened a beautiful dance school, Tribal and Flames, in Barcelona. Anna is going to share with us her story with dance, how she fell in love with Tribal Fusion Bellydance and flow arts, and she's going to share her vision, her personal touch on her creative process, and so much inspiration that will literally blow your mind. I can't wait to share this interview with you. Have your cup of tea or coffee ready and enjoy this conversation. All right, thank you so much, Anna, for being here and accepting my invitation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
I've been meeting you so many years ago, and so much has gone through all of these years. I can't wait to hear more about your story. I've been, of course, following you on Instagram because that's what we do as dancers. We either dance or follow other dancers or watch other dancers. That's basically our life, right? So
Yes.
I've seen you opening your dance studio. You might want to talk a little bit about it in a moment. And you're developing your own kind of a stylization, your tribal and flames, which combine together so many beautiful flow arts. So I'm pretty excited to know more and to meet you very soon as well.
Yes. I'm so happy to be here with you in Marrakesh. So I'm so
Yeah.
happy to be there.
Yes. So, first question is always about the background, because I think it's so good to get to know ourselves better through our personal story. And every time I interview other dancers, I feel like we have different stories, but they are so similar somehow. I feel like there are so many things I can recognize in all of you. So, my first question is how does dance happen in your life? How did you start? And specifically, of course, belly dance and fusion belly dance.
So I started, I think, 11 years ago, 11 or just in 2014. And I started directly with Tribal Fusion. I had never danced before. No belly dance, no any other style, directly to fusion. I don't know why. That dance had something that I think that most of us felt that I need to be there. You know that feeling? I think that everybody knows when I explain it. So yeah, I wanted to move or do something, and I was in a bad period of my life. And I went in a school close to my home, and I asked about Tribal Fusion, and I went to a class. And when I tried to move like Tribal Fusion dancers, it the dance had something that fit me. I don't know how to explain it. It has some kind of magic or something. And I said, okay, I had to be there. And well, in fact, when I was young, I used to draw a lot and paint, and I was a lot into art because I was a graphic designer and everything. And I used to draw Tribal Fusion dancers, but I didn't even know who they were. I just liked this aesthetic they had, the kind of mysterious and dark vibe, the ancient, like they were like sculptures in a temple. And I was so in love with that, and I draw it. And after some years, I discovered that that was a thing, that was a dance genre. So the first thought was, okay, I had to learn that. I had to go somewhere and learn it. And yeah, I did a class, and since that day, every week, then twice a week, then 3 times a week, four, and every day and every hour. And here I am. Now I'm a dance teacher. And it was crazy. And yeah, I don't know, tribal fusion fits so well. I After some years, I started to gain interest to belly dance, more to the roots, but it's not the same. I think it's important to know where what are our roots, and where tribal fusion started, but it's not the same. You know,
Yeah.
you can
It's a
understand.
different style.
It's super different. And yes, and also I think I never danced before because when I was young, I was not feminine. I don't know. My friends were men. I did men things, and I didn't want to. I like belly dance because I like ancient cultures and that kind of aesthetic, Middle East. You know, I think all tribal fusion dancers love that vibe and that culture. But belly dance was not the femininity I wanted.
Mm.
And in tribal fusion, I met a kind of femininity didn't that I hadn't met before. And from that point, when I started dance fusion, I became feminine. It's so strange.
Oh my God. I can
Yeah,
relate so much.
yeah, but I think all the girls who I know that dance fusion, my students, they are all the same kind of girl. Alternative, rebel. I don't know how to explain it, and they are so weird. I don't know.
We're weirdos.
Yeah, they're weirdos, and that they don't fit here. I don't know.
Yeah.
And when I found that femininity, I became feminine, and I wanted to be with more with ladies than with men, with with friends, group of friends, and yeah, I felt so good. And as I said, I started to dance because I was in a bad period of my life, and it's totally true that dance heals 100%. And I was hyper focused in fusion for 2 years, and my life changed. Everything changed. My lifestyle, my friends group, my job, everything.
Everything. That's so
Mhm.
true. So
Yes.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing all of this. And I think what's really what I see, and this is also coming back to another interview that I did recently with Julieta, and she
I
was
saw it. Oh, Julieta, I loved your interview. If you're seeing this, oh my God.
so good. Big shout out to Julieta. Bye. Hello. And she was saying something very similar, like this dance style is about rebellion. She was saying something like that.
It's
Like,
counterculture and really
yes,
alternative. Yeah.
yeah. And what you're saying about femininity, it's like a light bulb in my brain. It's like in my mind. What I felt, it was like this dance style gave me permission to explore a shade of femininity that was not fitting into the society's box.
Hmm.
And that's
Yes.
where me too, I started to explore that femininity within myself as well.
Mm. And it's exciting when you found that in yourself. I didn't know that I had that feminine side. I don't like to call it sensual, but I don't know how to call it. Please dance and discover yourself that thing because
Yes.
it's so cool. And, and yes, totally true. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, the best answer to when people ask us, what do you do, is like, I'm gonna dance and you're gonna see for yourself. You're
And
gonna experience.
yes, and it's not only about another kind of femininity. I think it's also a kind of dance really, really feminist. It's
Mm.
it's really I don't know the name in English. Reivindicative? Does it exist? I don't know. Well, that it's not about a individual person's ego. it's more dancing for a tribe, in a tribe, or in a group. Call it however you want to call it. Really, it makes sorority grow. The
Yes.
sorority, it's in English, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Sisterhood.
Sisterhood, yeah, and we empower each other, and I see that a lot in class, but also when I go to tribal fests, international, and in every country, I see that feeling that we're
Yeah.
encouraging each other to do something that we like, to be really independent, and I like that feminism in fusion. It's really good.
Thank you so much for pointing this out because I think it's something that needs to be highlighted even
Mm,
more about this dance style. It's not about becoming the prima ballerina on stage.
exactly. Yeah.
It's more about, okay, you can have your space for solos, but it's really about us, it's like about the community, how we support and grow together.
Mm,
So
yes.
good. So good. This is so grounded in the roots of this dance style. It's so, so good.
Yes, and I think also that's because it's a modern dance. It's really young. It started some years ago, and I think that we have another mindset, so it's different.
Yes.
And I feel so well dancing it, and also the improvisation systems like Faccians Bellydance or Datura
Yeah.
or whatever. Um, Work to create this sisterhood, because you are communicating each other to do something together that looks nice to the audience. It's like a language. You're learning a language. You're learning how to talk to each other without saying any word. It's perfect. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like love, 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 love. And tell me about, because I know you're the Tura teacher, am I wrong? You're the
Yes,
Tura teacher, but you're also a flow arts
yes, that
teacher.
became. Mhm. Sorry.
No, 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 no. Tell me about it. Tell me more about it.
Okay, so I started dancing fusion at 2014, and 2 years after that, I discovered flow art, and it was super new for me. I didn't know about that, but I discovered it. I suppose that, like everyone else who started doing this, because of fire, because you see people dancing with fire and you love it because it's really powerful. And then in Barcelona there was a workshop about fire dance, and I attended there. It was just one day, and it was like initiation, like a little choreography, and I felt in love. I really loved it. It was by Mireia Brinhild, a Spanish woman, and and I wanted more, because I thought this cannot end here, like just doing this with fire and anything else. That there is more technique there, and I don't know where to start looking for that, because there were any teachers in Spain. No, no, in Barcelona, nothing. And I went to YouTube, and I think the flow arts community grew in YouTube, and there were a lot of Russians doing weird stuff with fans, and I was looking, watching that videos, thinking, how do they do that? I don't understand. How are
Is
they
it
doing
human
their fans
possible?
like this? I don't know. What are they doing with the fans? And I bought some fans, and I started copying what I saw in the videos, and I didn't know anything because nobody explained to me. And I looked for tutorials, and I started to understand the technique and the academy behind the juggling thing. And it was so interesting. And at some point, I took classes, private classes with Jessie Spin, Daria, um, other teachers, international teachers, and I understood, and my mind did. Okay, because it's not intuitive. You need a teacher to understand what's happening there because it's really geometrical and mathematic.
Yeah.
It's not like fusion. It's so different. And I started to explore there, and I wanted to integrate fan dance without fire, just the juggling thing, with fusion. And at that point, my fusion teacher, Rachel Moon in Barcelona, got pregnant, and she needed somebody to do the classes. And she asked me, and I said, okay, but I want to do fan classes, not fusion classes. And she told me, okay, let's try it. And it was a success.
Wow.
And I started to do fan classes. The girls, like 8 years ago, I think, or 7, I don't know. And the girls love it. And they are still my students. They are still here after 7 years. And I'm so happy. They are my closest friends now. And well, I started first explaining this fun thing, how to do a dance with fire in a safe way and everything. But after that, I created my own methodology, like Fat Chance Bellydance, but with fire fans. I have a language of combos, and it's an improvisational language, and it works, and everybody loves it, and now I'm trying to explain it all over the world.
Wow.
I think it's working, and the success of that. Um, I don't know the name. Made me open the school, the studio,
Yes.
which is called Tribal and Flames because I'm mixing tribal fusion and flames, which is flow arts, fire dance, juggling, blah blah blah.
Good. And you're located in Barcelona,
Yes,
right?
Barcelona city center.
Yeah, I will be sure to put your link to the show notes. So if there's anyone in Spain or in Barcelona that wants to take classes with Anna, please go check her website.
Thank you. Whenever you want.
Ah. All right, my dear. So we already talked about a little bit about what made you fall in love with this dance style, which again, so difficult to explain through words. We call it belly dance, but we should call it gut
Yeah.
dance. Something in your gut that just it's there. But let's get even more into the details of how would you define this dance style. Already, we talked about the community aspect. We talked about definitely the femininity aspect of it. But is there anything else that you think is like a key element?
Okay, I think that it has a lot of key elements, but I was in the Turacon last month, and Rachel Rice said a thing. Well, we were discussing in class, but that sentence for me, it was perfect. In fact, we said some time ago. Tribal fusion, it's the key element. It's the weirdness of the dance itself, because it's a weird dance for weird people who likes to share their weirdness, and that's why we come together. Weirdness can be anything, like mixing and fusioning different cultures with electronic sounds, but being mysterious. This is a thing. The other thing is, as I said, the strong community, the belonging feeling, the feeling to belong to something, to be part of a tribe. I don't like to say a tribe, but a
Let's
group.
call it like a trend. Yeah.
Yes. Um, Also, another key element is the roots, because it has many roots. It's a really young dance style, but we have so many roots from so many different parts. We love Middle East, but it has a lot of other things of different cultures. And I think that we have to look there more and to hear the locals what they have to say about what we are doing. This debate was in COVID pandemic.
A lot.
Yes, and we follow it through internet. The names of the steps started to change, and I think we have to hear to listen more the roots.
Yes.
And another thing of key elements of tribal fusion for what the same as Julieta said, the counterculture, the alternative. This is a dance for alternative people that I don't know that doesn't like to do the mainstream thing. They want to go beyond and explore other things, explore how to fusion ancient dance styles with modern dance styles, and what can we create with that, being respectful, which is really difficult. Also the feminist and political part, that's also really good because it's a rebel dance, rebellious. And I think it's important also that, and the fusion itself, it has many opportunities and it's really open, and you can create whatever because you can fusion whatever you want. And the limit is your fantasy and your imagination, because you can talk about everything. It's not like ballet that it's always you have this technique and you have to do this technique. Here we have technique, but it's open. You can fusion whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. Like I love what you mentioned about Rachel. Again, shout out to Rachel. We love you so much.
Talk about Rachel. I didn't even mention the video of Rachel Rice that everybody saw in
Oh my
YouTube,
God.
belly dance superstars, and everybody started to dance tribal fusion because of that video. Me, I am another one of that girl, but I didn't mention it.
It was like, that's for granted. Of course,
Yeah.
we fall in love because of Rachel Bryce, you know?
Yes.
And I love this idea of if you're, I mean, like translated in my words, like if you're a fusion dancer, you're a weirdo, you know, like you belong to the weirdos and you do weird stuff.
Mm.
And also something that she mentioned in another video of her, which I was listening, she mentioned something about fusion before becoming a noun, like a thing. It was
Mhm.
a verb, you know, it was an action.
Yes.
So, as you just said, it's about putting things together and making them work in a way which is beautiful and inspiring and, you know, and just shares beauty with the world, basically.
Yes. And of course, I didn't mention that, but one key element for me is the aesthetics. The aesthetics of fusion are amazing. The jewelry, the fabrics, everything, the fusion of
Yeah.
wearing everything together, it's amazing.
Yeah. And the way we also like the postures with all of those shiny beads is like, oh, I can draw.
As a choreographer, it has a lot of possibilities with group um, pieces. It's amazing. I'm sad sometimes thinking about people who is a choreographer, their main job. Normally, they are choreographers of commercial dance for an advertising or musical or something. But most of them don't know anything about fusion dance. They don't even know that it exists. And I am sure that if they know that fusion dance exists, they would become crazy. And maybe we can see fusion dance in musicals or theaters or I don't know. But sometimes I'm sad thinking about this is not yeah, people doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
But another part of me think about that's better because if fusion belly dance become mainstream, it lose the essence.
Yes, that's what I was thinking while you were saying that. You know,
Yeah,
it's the side effect of being something counterculture, underground, alternative.
underground. That's the word. That's the growth. The growth. It's really underground.
Yes, yes. I think if we will see fusion in music, like in commercials or on musicals, we will be like a little bit like. Eh.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah. So on one side, as you said, it's like a pity that like everybody should know about this beautiful way of moving, this beautiful community, this beautiful. But at the
Yeah,
same time, it's part of the game that it has its own, intimacy. You come because you are part of us.
yeah, yeah.
you know, we're inclusive, but if you come and stick around, it's because you already have that inside of you.
That's true. When somebody comes to the studio, to the school, and doesn't belong to that kind of underground culture, they don't fit, and they finally leave by their own. They know when they belong or not. But
Yeah,
it's not written. It happens. You know.
yeah. That happens. Well, I have to admit that I also have students like older women, let's say,
Mhm.
that they're not, you wouldn't put their names inside of a underground culture,
Yeah.
standard. They're more like just all the women that love to dance. But
Mm.
I also see in them that they have that fire, that's what that
Yeah.
spirit, as you said, like a little bit feminist, a little bit more like, we're gonna kick asses through our dances.
Yes.
So,
It happens the same with my
you
oldest
too. Yeah,
sister. Yeah.
you too.
Mm.
All right. So, talking about choreographies, as you mentioned.
Mm.
So, when you want to create, since fusion is such a big umbrella term for so
Mm.
many different inspirations and possibilities, when you want to create a piece, is it a choreography for yourself or your group or your students, or any kind of performance? Maybe it's an improvisation. What does your creative process look like if you already have like a kind of a.
Yeah. Um, for me, the most important thing, and that's what I am trying to explain to my students and in my workshops also, always, it's the storytelling. For me, it's really important to communicate a message, even if it's a simple message. But you have to communicate because it's not about putting a beautiful outfit with a beautiful music and dance, like just for aesthetics, which is good also. But for me, if it doesn't have any story to tell, it doesn't make sense. So the first thing I think about is, okay, I need a story, I need a message, and I need to make it really clear so the audience can understand it and feel emotions. Once I have that, I look for music, which is the horrible part because I never I never find music that I like because I want a music that nobody has danced, which is really special, which has pum pum pa pa, you know. I never find it. It's really difficult. And once I have the music, it's explore, explore, explore. And what I am trying to do is what can I apport to the fusion world that is different and nobody does it, because I don't want to copy, I want to explore something different. So I'm trying the last solos I did to mix future and ancient, which is tribal fusion, but from a science fiction perspective.
Hmm.
That started because I wanted to integrate my fans with fusion, and the fire fans in the theater, you cannot use them because it has fire and you can burn the theater and you cannot do that. But my fans are LED with lights, and it was so strange to integrate that LED lights with the fusion style. So that's why I started to look for more science fiction, futuristic rustic aesthetic, but without losing the ancient. Like that's why I love Dune, because Dune the film does really well. And
Which movie? Sorry.
Dune.
Dune. Yes, yes.
So the mix is perfect because it's futuristic but ancient, but that kind of thing. And I like to look for dystopian environments, to create a character which is from other planet. I don't know, but I like to explore there. I also like old school and do datura with finger symbols. I love it. But when I try to mix this light performance, because I did also a solo with light interaction. I didn't know if you saw it, with like some sticks, and I was interacting with them.
I
It's
didn't see that.
I will send
Check
you.
that.
So it's cool to perform, because you don't only choreograph yourself, your dance. You have also to choreograph the light, because you have to program the lights, and that's a choreography too, and it's mind blowing, and it's so cool. And that's why I am trying to do also with my students, to create full performances with the storytelling, message, and everything. I think that I took it from the circus world, the juggling world. They always have a message to give, because I like to see dancers dancing beautiful, but I need a storytelling. I need something, not just an outfit and a music.
Yeah, I totally can relate again, because I think as human beings, we're passionate about stories. We want to
Mm.
know more about, okay, it's cool to see something beautiful, but what are you telling me, And sometimes storytelling doesn't always look like, a character with an actual story and an actual development. Maybe sometimes, as you said, is maybe just moving with a, some kind of jewelry and some kind of lights, and it's already a kind of a, like, if I'm giving a mood which has its own story behind.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's so beautiful, like what you mentioned about having these creative process with movements and lights and
Mhm.
putting them all together. I have to go check that video.
Thank you.
Can you mention where we can find the videos in on YouTube?
Or my Instagram. Go to my YouTube or Instagram, Cosmos Daughter, and there I am really bothering always sharing videos.
You don't bother me at all. So I'm gonna check that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, so inspiring. I love when different art forms melt together, like blend together, like in this example is fusion belly dance with flow arts, with light design for theater performances. Like, boom, magic.
Yes, it's really cool. I sometimes think about, Anna, why don't you do something more simple and just dance and that's it? But I get bored.
Yeah. Go for it, girl. Sister, just please do your thing. We need that.
Don't feel comfortable if I go to the stage and I just dance without anything in mind. I don't feel good. I don't feel comfortable with that. I need to express something.
Yeah. And just a little side question for you. So you always choreograph, or you have the storytelling and you also fit some improv inside that?
Um, I choreography a structure. I have some combos, but in other parts, it's like, okay, here I will improvise something with accents or undulations, but it's always with a structure, because
Yeah.
it would be a mess. I know there are a lot of dancers who are more into improvisation, and I would love to have that facility to do that. But no, I just improvise when I don't know, in a Renaissance fair and I have a job and I have to dance there, and that's
Yes, yes.
because you vibe with the audience and it's perfect. But on stage, It's like, okay, I have to create a piece and I have to give it to the audience, and I need them to understand the message. So I need a structure.
Yeah, I feel you. And it's so soothing to have a structure with blank spaces that you can just, relax into that and then come back to the structure. So
Yes.
feels good on the body.
And I think that um, I have a lot of inspirations, but a person who does it really well is Olga Meos for me. Olga has a brain. I want Olga's brain. She's capable of doing a performance with 25 people and create something really impressive aesthetically, but also with the message she is giving. And it's perfect. And it's amazing. I love how Olga works. And also, I don't know, Ethel Anima. She has a power of character design. She can create characters and become a character and explain the story of that character really, really good. And that's amazing. I really love it.
Well, again, shout out, Olga. We love you. You're such an inspiration. And Ethel, we love you too. And see you soon in Morocco too.
Oh, yeah. So happy.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
All right, my last question for you, my dear, is the big one. So, um, the idea behind this question is let's talk about the future, the present and the future. Like, what do you see ahead for this dance style? And yeah, your suggestions if you have for dancers and teachers.
This is a really difficult question because I think I saw Alisa Gurova's interview you made, and Alisa told something like I think the same. Something about tribal fusion doesn't have any basic structure like ballet, and we have to find it and make it like uh, legal, not legal, like recognizable kind of dance. Um, we need to create a global structure and have the same basis, because if we begin to fusion and fusion that and fusion that and fusion that and fusion that, we lose the essence.
Yeah.
I think that Datura style or Olga's phase 1, 2, 3, 4 that she has a good structure, and this for me is a good basis, a good foundation. But now it's a really young kind of dance. What will happen in 100 years if the Earth is still here and hasn't exploded yet? What will happen in 100 years? Um, it will be so fusion and everything would be so mixed that I'm really afraid that we lose the old school tribal fusion thing.
Yeah.
And this for one of the parts is we have to create a structure, basic foundation for tribal fusion, but also we have to listen. I think we have to listen to local dancers of these different cultures we are mixing. I don't know, you are a lot into Indian fusion, right? So we have to listen to Indians about fusion, not Indian classical dance. So go to India and what are you fusioning? What are you doing? Or go to Morocco. What are you fusioning? Because I suppose there are dancers in Morocco that do also fusion. How
Yes.
how how they do their local dance styles, and how do they fusion with modern music? You know, or go to Egypt or go to I don't know, Turkey and ask them how they are fusioning things, because we are losing all that. I know Jamila Salimpur and Carolina Nericio um, began to fusion the things, and they had really old school and really more pure steps. I don't know how to say it, but what will happen with that if we just do this and this? This is hip hop, you know.
I was thinking the same as you were saying that.
What will happen? So I think it's important, and I wish local local dancers from Middle East were more famous, I don't know, so we can go to them and or invite them here and, okay, how do you fusion your dance with electronic music? How do you do that? Because that's fusion,
Yeah.
and not only listen to Europe, America, you know.
Yes.
uh, this would be the second thing. And the third thing would be like my suggestion. I love how the community is growing. I think we have a lot of international tribal fests in every country, at least in Europe. And I'm really happy to be traveling every year to different countries. So keep doing tribal festivals, please, because it's like a little oasis in your life. And you stay there for days doing workshops and learning from really important dancers that are amazing, and they are goddesses. And then sharing your weirdness with them on stage and off stage. And yes, let's keep creating safe space to share these creations. I think this is really important, not to lose the tribal community, the fusion community.
Yes. I want to bow to all of the dancers who also organized festivals and events, because really, like, all of my gratitude for your work,
Mm.
because I know it's so crazy, because I've been there for a few years now. It's been a long time that I didn't, who knows in the future, but it's really a huge,
Yeah.
huge. You too?
Big shout out to Valentina Yani,
Yeah.
because I don't know how she does it. I don't know how can you organize a big event with 4 international dancers or more. It's crazy because I am doing a festival in June and I just have one international dancer, like the main teacher and main guest, and I'm running crazy. How can you do that with so many people? Or Olga with Astana Tribal Fest, Kazakhstan. How can you do it?
Yes, yes, it's crazy. So really, all of my gratitude, all of our gratitude to you, Valentina, Olga, all of the people that are not only incredible dancers, they also organize festivals. So I'm like, you're a superhero, okay? So thank you for creating these spaces, as you say, to keep the community together internationally, because this is a global family. And the more opportunities we have to meet and create. And I was recently in Slovenia to Mansa Pavli festival in Ljubljana, and it was like 5 days of being together and dancing from morning to midnight. And I was like, this feels like vacation to me. I love doing this. So thank you for that. So yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that,
Mm.
and for mentioning all that you said about getting in contact with source dancers and with people from the cultures.
Uh,
I just want to say that yes, in Morocco there are fusion dancers. I recently interviewed my dear student Kenza, which is the first tribal fusion dancer in Morocco. So there's community there too.
I'm so happy that we are going to be teachers in the Marrakesh Tribal Fest, that it's being organized by Ayur. And the thing that makes me super comfortable going there and teach is that the organizers are locals. So I'm so happy because we are being respectful, and they can explain us how to do the things. So thank you. You have to come.
Yes, please come. If you're watching this video, come to the festival. It's going to be amazing on April 2026. And they're not only they are locals organizing a tribal fusion festival, but they are also integrating a lot of Moroccan experiences, like from the locals, like Moroccan music or Moroccan experiences of other kinds. So go check that. The program is amazing.
Mhm.
I can't
I'm
wait.
so
So thank you so much, Anna. It was a lovely conversation. And again, I
happy.
can't wait to meet you soon. I'm gonna check your beautiful videos and even get more inspiration from you.
Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you for creating these interviews because it's really fun to be here and talk about it, because I really love to talk about fusion and debate these things. But it's also super interesting to listen all the interviews you have done and to watch different perspectives. It's so cool. I really enjoy what are you doing. Thank you.
And most of the times you see these beautiful goddesses on stage, and they're like, you're watching them and like, oh, this is gonna be like a person who, I don't know, I can never talk to. But then you're on the interview and you're like, no, it's just,
It's so humble.
it's so humble. It's so beautiful to see that other part of our lives.
I'm
Thank
so
you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this beautiful conversation with Anna. And this is your reminder. If you're watching this video on December 16, 2025, this is your last chance, last hours to catch my very special Christmas private coaching sale. Find the link in the show notes, and I'll see you next week for the next video.